I don't want to be that person anymore. Recently, my mom told me that she enrolled in a calligraphy class, and I, being a total jerk, reacted to it in such a petty way that I am ashamed of myself. I told her it was nothing, that she was wasting her time on nothing. I didn't know why I said that at the time. I just caught the impulse to criticize, to judge, without even giving her a chance for support. It didn't matter that she was trying to find something for herself that made her happy. I lacked even basic kindness. When she talked about it with such enthusiasm, I thought I was right, that she was a waste of time, that there were important things in life, and this was just fun. But it wasn't really my opinion. It was just envy, self-pity, and fear. Fear of not daring to start something for myself, of not daring to step out of my comfort zone. I don't have the courage to seek my own happiness like my mom. Instead, I hide behind pathetic words because it's easier to criticize than to try to change something in my life. The words about calligraphy became something more. It wasn't just a moment of weakness. It was a symptom of what was going on inside of me. I can't allow myself to see someone find joy in the little things because I myself am incapable of joy in my life. I felt ashamed of myself for the way I acted, but the shame was only an outer shell. Inside, I could feel the emptiness inside of me growing deeper because of this act. This weekend, I spent time with my friends, Mona and Jenna. We walked around, chatted, laughed, but this time I felt everything around me change shape, like I was becoming transparent and alien. Mona had changed a lot in the last year. She had lost weight, but it wasn't just a reduction in size. It was a real transformation. She didn't just look different. She became more confident, glowing from the inside out. She wasn't just beautiful. She was happy and healthy. She was alive. I watched her, and instead of rejoicing in her success, I couldn't shake the feeling of envy that was eating me up inside. I watched her deftly trying on outfits, laughing, feeling comfortable in her own skin. And I stood by her side, unable to even take a step to be a part of this moment. All I could do was stay silent and hold my cold gaze, because I couldn't allow myself to be in this joy. I was like a frozen shadow, like an extraneous element that was simply present in their lives but couldn't get into the essence of it. Mona was real, vibrant, confident. She didn't shy away from herself, didn't try to hide from the world. And I, standing next to her, felt her withdrawing into her reality, her happy present, while I stayed in my foggy, dark hole, trying to pretend I didn't care. But I didn't. It wasn't indifference. It was jealousy. It was my own fear and bitterness. I couldn't be there for her because I couldn't afford to be happy for her. I didn't know what it was like to be alive like her. We went to a bar, and as soon as we sat down at a table, the guys started flirting with my friends. They were bright, confident. Their laughter sounded like music, and their conversations were full of energy. They were enjoying the moment, and I sat there like a blank slate, watching them get carried away, laughing and enjoying themselves. I wasn't just lost. I was invisible, as if I didn't exist. I couldn't find myself in their world because my world was one of darkness and loneliness. My friends, they didn't notice me. I didn't know how to ask for help, how to say that I felt so alienated and helpless. All their joys, their successes in socializing were like a poisonous needle stabbing into my heart. I sat there watching others happy, and that joy of theirs turned into a burden for me. I tried to hide my inner pain behind indifference, but it kept surging outward like an invisible wave. I was angry at the world, angry at myself, angry that I couldn't be like them. And instead of shutting up, instead of at least trying to be a part of this moment, I opened my mouth and said something nasty. I poisoned the atmosphere, ruined the evening. I didn't mean it, but I didn't know how else to deal with what I was feeling. At that moment, it was important to me not to be just alone. It was important to me to be seen, if only in the worst possible way, if only as a destroyer. I had become the person no one wants around, the person who brings pain by his presence because he can't deal with his own demons. I destroyed myself and everyone around me because I couldn't find any way out of that shadow. Later, we went to the club to dance. Everything was as usual: music, lights, laughter. But even in this bright world, I felt like I was falling out, like I was in a completely different reality. Jenna, in the midst of all this fun, calmly said she wanted to quit smoking because it was bad for her health. And what did I do? Instead of supporting her, instead of being happy for her, I started urging her to continue. Why? Because it was hard for me to watch her, her strength, her ability to change, to make choices that make her better. I wasn't supporting her. I was trying to pull her into my darkness. I kept insisting that she keep smoking, and at some point I realized it wasn't even about smoking. It was about how I couldn't accept that she had found a way to better herself, that she was able to move forward while I was stuck in my quagmire. I hated her not for smoking, but for being stronger than I was. It hurt me that she found the strength to move while I still couldn't. I was right next to them, but I was as distant as if there was no room for me in this room. I watched them enjoying themselves, dancing, laughing, and I was just off to the side, quiet, unnoticed, without any aspiration. I just existed that I don't want to be that person, but I don't know how to stop. Every day, I feel envy burning me from the inside, and I can't get rid of it. I envy Mona because she was able to change her life. She became confident, healthy, and happy. She found the strength to become a better person, while I stand still, stuck in my fears and insecurities. It would be easier for me to be happy for her, but instead I feel only bitterness, as if her success is a direct indictment of my own powerlessness. I envy Jenna because she has started a new career and is genuinely excited about her accomplishments. She has found her path, and her eyes light up when she talks about her work. And me? I only criticize her instead of supporting her, because I can't find my own path myself. I can't choose what I want to do. I'm lost, and instead of moving forward, I stand by and watch others, more courageous and determined, go after their dreams, while I can't even take the first step. I envy my mom because she can start something new. She dares to make changes, to take on challenges that interest her. But me? I'm too cowardly to try something new. Every time I think about it, I get scared. Scared to step out of my comfort zone because I'm afraid of failure. Afraid of failure. This fear constrains me, and I stay in the same place that I can't get out of. I live in a state where every success of others reminds me of my own failure. And worst of all, I can't enjoy other people's happiness because it emphasizes how far I am from being happy myself. Instead of savoring their joy, I feel my own emptiness grow deeper. And no matter how hard I try, I can't stop feeling like such a failure. I love my friends and my family more than anything in the world. They're the only ones that matter to me, and I want them to be happy, healthy, and successful. I want them to do well because honestly, their happiness is the only thing that brings me any sense of warmth. But here I am, in my dark hole where the world seems cold and hopeless. I stay there, fighting with myself and not knowing how to get out, and for a moment I don't care what happens to those I love. It's scary. It's terrifying to realize that you can no longer be the one who is supportive, who is happy for others. I should be happy for them. I should be happy to see their successes, their confidence, their glowing faces. But instead, I feel like this joy of others, their happiness, feels like it stabs me like a knife in the back. I can't be the person they want me to be, the one who smiles when they're happy, who rejoices in their accomplishments. Instead, I become empty, as if their happiness further emphasizes my own emptiness. I know I'm supposed to support them, to be the one who lifts them up when they're having a hard time. But I become the one who pulls them down. And the more I try to hide my pain, the worse it gets. I become that person. The person who, instead of being the source of light, becomes the one who outshines it. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to hurt the ones I love. I want to be a better person. But at some point, I can't stop. I can't control it. My own fears, my jealousy, my insecurities, it all comes out and clings to the people I love. I start to lose them, not because they are leaving, but because I myself can't be with them the way I should be. I become the person I once hated, the person who pulls others into his darkness because he can't find his way to the light. Today I bought my mom a set of calligraphy pens. It was something so small, but at some point, when she was telling me about her new hobby, I suddenly realized how important it is to do something for yourself, something that brings joy. And in that moment, I felt such shame. Shame that I couldn't realize before how beautiful it is when a person decides to try something new, to go beyond what they are used to, when they are not afraid to change and grow. I was so petty, so angry that I didn't support her when she first started. I was consumed by my envy and bitterness. Didn't see the bright path she was choosing for herself, because perhaps I myself had long ago forgotten what it meant to move forward. Mom, she was always so strong and patient. She has been through so much, and now when I see how she has chosen to start something new, how she paints, how she experiments, how she discovers another world, I realize how much strength there is in those little things. And I feel ashamed of everything I said to her before, the nasty things that came out of me, the pettiness I was consumed with. I thought I knew how to live, that everything was under control, but really I was just hiding from myself. My mom, on the other hand, is learning to be happy, learning to move on. Now I want her to be proud of herself. I want her to feel that everything she does is important, it's valuable. I want her to be proud that she has started something new, that there is room for change and joy in her life. And one feeling keeps me going, I need to be better. Not for others, not to please everyone. I have to be better for myself. Because I'm tired of being an empty shell that walks through life, avoiding my own emotions and desires. I want to be real. I want to feel like I'm living. And that will be my first step to get rid of the weight I put on myself, to free myself and finally become the person I've always dreamed of being. I apologize for all of this. I know it sounds like I'm talking too much, that it doesn't make sense, but I can't keep quiet anymore. I can't hold it in anymore. I can feel it all starting to tear me up from the inside out. It's like I'm carrying this invisible weight that constantly reminds me that I'm different. It's not just sadness. It's something more than that. It's a feeling that I'm a failure, that I've made mistakes in my life, that I may never be the person I wanted to be. I look at myself and my behavior, and I think, how did I get to this point? Why can't I just be happy? Just be a part of something? Why is it that always when something good happens to someone, I immediately start to feel that I don't deserve it, that I can't be a part of their joy, their success? I want to get rid of that feeling. I want to be free of this perpetual envy, this pain that sits somewhere deep inside. I want to become someone else. I don't want to be this person, this ugly, petty person that I have become. I don't want to ruin any more moments. I don't want to stay in this quagmire. I want to change. I want to feel like I don't just exist. I want to be real, free, a person who isn't ashamed of my emotions, of my life. But how? How can you get better when you've been lost and broken for so long? How can you get rid of something that has been a part of you for so long, when you no longer know where your pain ends and where you yourself begins? I don't, but I have to figure it out, and I can no longer be silent. I can no longer allow myself to be this person who drags down and destroys everything about others. That's not me. I just don't know what I can be yet.